we'll do a quick spin across the garden, and then I'll come back and explain everything. But here we got cucumbers, we got some tomato there, pimento peppers, and there's a story behind the pimento pepper because there's 2 trees there, and there's a 3rd tree there, and some more pimento peppers here. And this year I moved them to the box, and here you can see the pimentos coming in now. But as we make our way across the garden, you see we got some peppers coming in now, but more on the peppers in a second. Let's go down to the back down here. It's my neighbor making noise. It is pretty early in the morning. And down here, usually we have, for the past 3 years, I've had bitter melon or Corylli, which is growing here. We got leeks and we got herbs and stuff like that. And speaking about herbs, I've got, I don't know if you guys can see that there, but I got one of my babies back here now. And that thing must be almost 7 to 8 feet tall. And that's a pumpkin, one of those calabaza pumpkins from Trinidad. Well, from the Caribbean, one of the Caribbean style pumpkin growing up there. And it's going across a sort of pergola. Let's go from below, you'll see it better. So it's growing there. The whole idea is for it to carry along and cover there. But it makes for a nice cozy area here to do my reading and just thinking and stuff like that. Here we've got beans, and in between you're gonna see like Jamaican callaloo, or what we call chorai bhaji, and I've got many recipes for that. But a pumpkin goes all the way across the wire as well, and we got tomatoes, all this tomatoes here, a couple hot peppers, but they're not doing so good this year. They're really tiny, and it's already mid-August, so chances are I won't be getting anything. And these are the beans here. I don't know if you guys can see the beans on the bush there, but we'll talk about that in a second. Let's continue going. And against the wire, I have all these, well, the clematis. You can see the clematis, but you can also see in the back down there, there's a whole bunch of cherry tomatoes. More of my little babies, and they're now starting to bud. So you can see the bud coming in. Here is my little fruit area. So we've got the strawberries there, and there's a flower down, a couple flowers. Unfortunately, I didn't get any strawberries this year because the no cherries. This is my cherry tree here, and this cherry tree has been grafted, so it bears 4 different types of cherries. The animals, the squirrel and the chipmunk, they got all the cherries and they got all the strawberries this year. But over here I've got some eggplant, and this is a new variety that I planted this year, really tiny, but oh, are they ever so sweet. Then we got a more traditional looking eggplant over here. I've already harvested more herbs, so thyme and parsley. Over here, we'll jump over there, but I have a watermelon back there, and this is where I have my variety. And I think this year I planted 6 varieties of some of the hottest peppers in the world. I didn't plant any of the Scorpion nor the Carolina because they're just too hot. I really can't. Horseradish. This one here is a horseradish. Yeah, first time growing horseradish as well. And back here, the yellow leaves that you're seeing, it took on a fungus lately because of the heat and humidity we've been having here. It's been a solid month, almost 2 months of insane heat here in southern Ontario. So my butternut squash isn't doing too well, but it's quite a bit, and it's just going down to the side of the house, but it's quite a bit of them on here. So now let's take a look now individually at things. Peppers, and you can see most of the bush, they're all loaded. This one here has been producing for the past month, and you can see how beautiful these are. It's just laden, man. Even all here. This is a different variety. As I said, I planted 6 different varieties. And this one has more of a scorpion finish to it. I don't remember the name. I have a map. I usually map out my garden, but they're all in between here, all different types of peppers. And the little plants, the ones on the ground down there, as we saw down in the back of the garden down there, that's habaneros. The habaneros are not doing good this year at all. And this is probably my favorite time to use these peppers. And you will notice what I'm talking about here. If you pay attention here for a second, see the color there? They're not fully mature. They're still young, and they have that lovely light green complexion. And they're packed with flavor and not the insane heat that they have. And there's a prime example of what I'm talking about. These here, you roast them off when you're making choka and stuff like that. Boy, oh boy, is it ever good. And here's an example of some of the butternut squash. Just doing its thing there. There's a couple there. There's some more down here. Just gotta move the leaves, see. There's another one there. There's one there. And there's a couple down there. I'm just allowing it to go down the side of the house there. Use up every piece of gardening real estate. Oh, and I got the yellow peppers, the yellow habaneros, it looks like. Oh, it says Scotch bonnet on the label, but I doubt it. And you would have seen me already started using from this parsley here. And I'm quite excited to see what happens with this horseradish. It's growing really, looks like a leafy green. Maybe I can use that, the leaf part of it. I'm not sure. I haven't done my research yet. Whole bunch of thyme. And of course, the eggplant. And I'll give you a closer look at these baby eggplant. First time planting them this year, but they grow in abundance, boy. And I do apologize about the wind and the noise that you're hearing. I don't have my sort of mic cover on, but this ended up being, I have it in a bag to support it on this used to be an old pear tree, but this is the watermelon here. The plant has dried, so I'm gonna have to harvest that. The plant was in here, and it's a repurposed barbecue that I just fill it up with dirt and stuff like that, and I had the watermelon going. I don't think it needed about another month or so to fully mature better, but we'll give it a try and see what happens. If you don't know that, this plant here, that sort of fuzzy look that you're seeing there, and it's because it's called lamb's ear. And you'll see the border plant that I have here, and this is what we call in the Caribbean, we call that gainda, but here in North America it's called marigold, and it's a great way to deter insects, because I guess the smell of it, the insects, they avoid your plants altogether. That's one of the questions I keep getting. How do you keep bugs? This garden, no chemicals whatsoever, no fertilizer, no pesticides, anything like that. This is all organic and natural as it can be. And speaking of natural, yeah, we can legally grow ganja in Canada. So last year I failed. I had a massive tree, and you can see stuff is starting to happen now. I had a tree, but it must have been male or whatever it is. I didn't get any at all, but the whole idea is to be able to process it and cook with it. So I'm looking to do some infusions and stuff like that. And tomatoes, we have maybe 8 varieties of tomato back here, and this is one here. You can see we've already started harvesting some of them, and the tree has quite a bit. This is another variety here, and you can see the sort of stripes on them. Then as we make our way in, this one is called, and you can see this sort of a shape like a heart, that's called ox heart. I don't recall what the name of this one is, but if we go around, there is some, this is a Roma that I have here, a hybrid Roma. These ones here, these are all heirloom tomatoes, and you can see them nice and ripening up in there. Beautiful babies, boy. I've been having a lot of fun with them. We've got this sort of tiger stripe, but these are cherry. And across here we've got some champagne cherry. We got some teardrop cherries. And we got some yellow cherries. There we go, you can really see them now. And there's more of them. Just gotta come back here and harvest some of them. They're starting to split on us, so I think it's time to come out here and harvest. Oh look, my neighbor is even getting some too. And this is the clematis I was talking about earlier. Yeah, I'm about 5'9". These trees, well, that one is probably close to 7 feet. There's gonna be a lot of ganja up in here, boy. Oh, Jesus, look at all the buds. Just move back down to the back of the garden now, and I'll show you those beans. And this is a new bean I planted this year, and this one is called Roma. And here we go, you can see them here. To be honest with you, for the amount of real estate I gave the beans, the yield isn't the greatest. I'll be honest. Oh, look. And I spoke about insects earlier there. Look at that. Something is eating them. That's why. There's an insect or an animal back here chomping away. And this is a Jamaican callaloo. It's going to seed now, or what we call chorai baji. So I have seeds from a couple of years ago. I was going to cut that back. That grew up wild. And you can see this is the pumpkin patch here. And it goes on all behind the hosta there, and you can see it climbing up. Yeah, this one is probably the tallest plant, boy. Just look at the stalk on it down in there. It's a nice thick stalk. Yeah, I think I allowed this bitter melon to go for too long on the branch, on the tree here, on the vine. But I already harvested about 8 of them. You won't believe it, on this skinny little vine here. So we got the bitter melon or Corylli, some more thyme, and this thyme comes up every year as clockwork. First time planting this year, these tall ones that you're seeing, those are leeks, and I'm planting them to do couple recipes. I have a soup in mind and I have something else in mind, and in between the leeks, the greenery that you're seeing there like this, I had a parsley plant here last year, and I guess it's seeded, and yeah, we got parsley in between there. We've got chives in the back down here. This is all chives. This is a blueberry bush. This one here, blueberry season is over. Again, another fruit that I didn't get. The squirrel and the chipmunk, they went to town. And here, oregano. I've already cut it back a couple times too. So what I do is I cut it and I dry it. So when I'm ready to cook, I have a whole bunch. And the more you cut it back, the more it's just going to keep growing. And with the pimento peppers, this year, I opted for the box. So there's 4 plants in there. It's a bit too thick, but I don't know if you can see that. It's probably about 3 feet, 2.5, 3 feet tall. And unfortunately, I won't be getting too much. I'm only now seeing some flowers here. It's already late in the season, and this is grown from seed. And I planted these seeds late winter indoor. And then I brought it out here. The seeds were from Trinidad and Tobago, from my dad's garden down in Trinidad. And this out of control tomato plant that you're seeing here, it was never planted, and I'll show you where it's coming from. It isn't coming from inside there. It's coming from the side of the planter. And last year I usually plant my grape tomato here, and I guess it seeded itself and that's growing, so I just allowed it to grow. It ain't in my way, so I might as well just reap, right? More of the pimento peppers. And these ones are going to flower now. hopefully I have enough summer left to get them. And but this one, notice how smaller in stature it is, and that is because it wasn't planted there. It was planted closer to the hole there, but I don't know if it's a squirrel or a chipmunk kept digging it out, so I just moved it to the corner, and it's been growing. I tried to salvage it, but a squirrel or whoever it is kept busting through, and I ended up moving it. Now over here, cucumber. It doesn't look good. We probably got 2 cucumbers out of it. I think the soil here isn't as good. I think I need to change the soil in the planter altogether. It isn't all that great, so I'm just allowing it to continue growing. I have a hard time killing any plant or getting rid of anything, so let it, winter's gonna set in a couple of months. So there you go. Don't mind the bleach. I've been cleaning like crazy. Garden Tour 2020. I hope you guys liked it. For everyone who's been, hey Chris, we saw you planting ganja. Well, there she be. Here's some of the tomatoes that I picked last night. Notice how they're starting to split. But they'll get used. I'll cut that part out. But this is the sort of tiger stripe one that I showed you. Not against the fence, but, oh yeah, look, bees are getting at it. Hey, look, Chris have cockset too, don't make joke. But these are so sweet and so delicious.
What's up, soldiers? Don't forget to click subscribe. If you've already clicked subscribe, hit that bell notification thing. I want to all you missing out on the new videos, man. Come on, click.